Leading UK radiator manufacturer Stelrad Radiators has recently supplied 11 radiators for a residential refurbishment project on the South Downs. Nothing particularly strange in that, you might say, until you find out a little bit more about the property and the challenges it posed for the company undertaking the refurbishment. Enter Michael Piney and his company Option Energy Solutions, based in Stenning near Brighton. He was called out to look at a 300-year-old property by soon-to-become customers, a retired couple with 2 daughters away at university. They needed a reliable hot water system, able to cope with a high hot water demand, and they needed to be able to heat their home efficiently at a comfortable temperature for the whole day. This is where the challenge gets interesting. The walls were of a Wattle and Daub construction, with alterations made inside the property that made heat loss calculations a theoretical test. One might say a lottery. Michael found a study by Cardiff University where they published U-values for old buildings, and using this he recalculated with alterations to modify the U-value of this specific property. He did this for a number of different fabric types because the property had been altered throughout the years. This was challenging to say the least, but doing so accurately was fundamental to making the project work. With the help of Heat Geek's new room scan technology, the heat loss was calculated as 12.9 kilowatts, right at the limit of a domestic heat pump's output. The numbers had to be correct and a full heating system design was begun. At the request of the customer, the radiators were sized to be optimised at 43 degrees centigrade. 11 of the 13 radiators were replaced and the existing underfloor heating was left connected, all as a single open loop zone with no buffer. Their radiators were a mix of K3 and K2 Stelrad compact radiators. The K3s designed specifically to work well with low-temperature renewable heat pump-driven heating systems and providing 3 panels and 3 sets of fins to up the metal surface area and heat generated by around 50% for a similar radiator footprint as a standard K2. These radiators have proved popular up and down the country in heat pump installations, in new build homes and in retrofit heating systems, where the original boiler-driven system has been replaced by a heat pump solution. Other challenges in this 300-year-old home included the wall thicknesses for pipework runs. Running large pipes through the property's timber structure wasn't an option, so the domestic hot water tank was relocated from towards the centre of the property to the rear utility room. And Michael used a system he called Split the House to upsize the heating pipework. He located the centre point of the heating system pipework, split the system into 2 halves, and installed a new circuit to supply half the load. This was crucial because the only route for pipes was through a gap between a steel and a joist, and 32 millimetres was the maximum that would fit. How did the new system perform? Well, shortly after the installation, January brought a cold snap with several days of sub-zero temperatures. The customer reported flawless performance, perfectly stable indoor temperatures at a January efficiency level of 550%. The family is confident their energy consumption backs this up. Over to Michael to explain some of the detail. This is probably one of, if not the biggest success story I've ever had in my career in the heating industry, says a rightly proud Michael Piney. We used a Vaillant Aerotherm Plus 12 kilowatt air source heat pump alongside a Vaillant Unistore DHW cylinder and sensor comfort controller and SensorNet internet control. The radiators I chose were 500mm high Stelrad compacts. Chosen as the windowsill heights in the property limited us to anything higher. And they look very good in the property, as well as perform well and provide the levels of comfort heating needed in an elderly property of this type. All in all, we were delighted with the components of the system we chose, and they operate excellently together. It's been a major success story for us as a business and them as a family. The family, being owners of solar panels and a home battery, meant replacing the old LPG boiler with an electric heat pump was the final step in the customer's eco-home journey. The potential for harnessing these technologies in tandem with one another for maximum benefit was enormous. David, the owner, took a keen interest here because of his dual electricity tariff rates of 30 pence per kilowatt hour peak and 7.5 pence per kilowatt hour off-peak. In the winter, when his solar panels aren't producing enough to charge the battery, he has been using his off-peak rate to heat the hot water cylinder for the day and then charge the battery. He also put some additional heat into the property toward the end of the off-peak period. When the property cools, the heating then comes on, powered by the battery. His COP, as measured by the Valent controller, was over 4 for December and 5.5 for January. This meant that David could heat his house from as little as 1.36 pence per kilowatt hour throughout off-peak periods, and during peak periods until his battery is depleted. This cost will come down further in future months and will be zero when the solar panels are contributing. It's an astonishing saving compared to their old fossil fuel system, and in David's words, they are very warm. The heat throughout the property, courtesy of the Stelrad radiators, is consistent too. The end result of this project is that amazing results in both comfort and efficiency can be delivered by heat pumps to old houses, provided the design is correct. The best design is achieved with consideration given at all steps of the project, from heat loss calculation, that is custom U values, through to challenges on site such as pipe sizing calculations to split the house. And stakeholders should be included in this process, optimising design flow temperature with the customer's investment. All in all, an impressive case study for an impressive installation. For further information about Stelrad and its full range of products, please go to stelrad.com.